If you've flown in the past, well, since the pandemic, you've seen the craziness that has transitioned since the mask mandate, where on flights that they are now spitting. I mean, they're just literally coughing. I mean, they're actually kicking. I mean, you see the actual fights that they've had on planes lately. I mean, flight attendants are actually being assaulted on an airline for their job. Well, they're creating a national no-fly list. I mean, it can really change the game. You make one mistake, baby, you might be out.
So real here, and as you know, I got something to say. You might like it, you might love it, you might even hate it, but anything you stay in my DM, so just comment below. If you don't know me already, I'm out.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, my IGSTS family. I really appreciate you joining this experience and joining the I Got Something to Say family. If you've never been a part of this family, it's okay. It's easy to join. We just asked you to vote on Wednesday. So this Wednesday coming up, you could have voted on the topics that's going on today. And then we can tell you about what's going to be on and what's popping on that topic. It's all political over here, so we give you everything that's going on in our Black culture. And if that's not enough for you, you can actually come on over to our YouTube channel and subscribe over there. Because by subscribing over there, you can watch the shows at 12 a.m. And if you're interested in watching the shows on Instagram and Facebook, because everybody has those, you can always watch it at 11 a.m. Or you can follow up on our TikTok channel, because on TikTok we post it over there too. So you know, this is the last week of Black History Month for I Got Something to Say, so we're going to celebrate it right. I have some new hairline products coming out with Get It Twisted. And if you're also interested in just celebrating Blackness all throughout the year, the Link Agency got you, because we have something coming out called the Little Black Box. And I can't wait to introduce it to you in March. And I also want to say thank you for all those that are subscribing, donating to these special projects.
The activity associated with the governance of African American lives, and or when our culture is entangled in political propaganda with a negative outcome.
So do you remember when I was saying that the no-fly list was a national thing? Well, let me explain to you what no-fly list really means. The no-fly list was really created for terrorists. When you had a terrorist attack in the country back in 9/11, they created a no-fly list where it created a process of people that were not supposed to be really flying in our country. And you're not really going to fly in our country. Well, when the pandemic mandate actually happened, it created an entire debacle with the no-fly list. So the no-fly list is not a new thing. Airlines have been always having their own separate no-fly list. Well, they're trying to go national with it and make it where all airlines are on the same page, keeping a list of people they want to kick off the plane because they have been crazy and irate. Well, you know, some senators was not for that and have been opposing it. People like Ted Cruz and others are not for this whole entire no-fly list with the airlines. Well, what's even crazier about that and made the airlines kind of double down was a passenger literally tried to open a door on the flight because he was trying to commit suicide. I was just talking about this on my suicide episode on Convos with Ree and Al. So if you haven't heard it, it's okay. Go to your favorite podcast platform. I mean, like iHeart, Spotify, and you can literally listen to our show on there. Guys, you want me to tell you something positive that the Biden administration actually is doing? Well, they did do a lot of promises about, paying student loans off, and they haven't quietly got all student loans paid off yet. But they did put a new person in the Department of Education, and he's currently suspending all of the seasons of tax refunds and payroll. Anyway, let's get into George. Yes, this is George Zimmerman. This is going to be my Do You Remember and Sound About White, how you mix them both together. Do you remember Trayvon Martin? Trayvon Martin was shot and killed by a grown man. His name was George Zimmerman. Well, George Zimmerman won the case, and this has started a trickling effect of white men thinking they can kill Black people and get away with it. I mean, it didn't start the trickling effect. It just reboosted what they already thought was the narrative for us. Nonetheless, well, George Zimmerman did that exact same thing. He shot a Black young kid and killed him cold dead in the middle of the road in the street, and was actually walked away from all charges. Well, he decided that he wanted to sue the parents of Trayvon Martin for defamation. And you know what the judge decided to do? dismiss the case as he should because, we were riot, protest. Okay, Florida don't want to see us. So I bet you can't believe what I'm about to talk about. It's sports. Yes. So did you watch the Super Bowl? You did, huh? Well, I want to talk to you about a distraction. Well, something that I think could have possibly been a distraction. Well, have you heard of Brian Flores? He was one of the coaches, like assistant coaches, that were actually working as a coach for the Miami Dolphins. Well, you haven't maybe, or you might, but he was one of the black coaches there. Well, he was actually applying for a full-time head coach position and was being played kinda, and actually called out the NFL for what they were doing, what we call racism here in America, and how they have all these black athletes but don't have any black coaches. And the one they do have is just one from one city. Well, he was putting in a lawsuit that was going to change the whole narrative of the NFL and how they actually are working with people of color and how they have to interview two black people just to call themselves equally yoked. It's called the Runny move. I think it's Runny or Ranny or Rooney. But anyway, it's a move where you have to interview two black people per coaching positions to get black people in. Well, unfortunately, he was actually told some information that he wasn't supposed to hear. They were told to him directly, and he utilized the information for his recourse, and it actually helped him with his lawsuit. Well, he was doing a civil lawsuit against the NFL, very likely to win. They were actually hiring a black lawyer to fight their defense because it was a black man going against them. And all of a sudden, he got hired with the Steelers. You know when the black culture comes for your ass, baby, it can change the narrative. But they gave him an assistant position. He wants that full-time position, so continue to sue them, brother. Thank you for voting, and the winner today will have 48 hours to claim their prize. And DM the link agency today. Congratulations.